Hi guys, okay, this is another update for Tiki. This is a brief update, I will say. Nothing like the 50 minutes of the preview 4 previously. This is not preview 5, this is just a little interim. Just to give you a little bit of an update before preview 5 comes along, which will be a little bit later now planned because I've got some other things going on. I'm away for a while, and then I've got to switch projects back to Quasimodo's Christmas Caper because I've got to get release 4 ready for December. So I'm busy with that, refining it a bit more, putting a bit more music in, and optimizing a few more bits in that game. What else I've got to do with it? Maybe a few more sound effects might go in. A reorganisation of one or two bits in the levels, not too much, just tweaks and stuff, really. But yeah, so that's going to take like centre stage really from October onwards. So I'll be busy with that, and Tiki will take a little bit of a small break. But I don't envisage it's going to take me too long to get Christmas Caper Release 4 done and dusted. Obviously, I've got to do the loading screen for the tape edition, which is the main drive for this, because this is what it was supposed to be about. It's for the digital tape version. That's why I'm working on this one. So it should be okay, and it's you know it's looking in the background. It's what I've done already. You know, it's looking a bit. There's a bit more cosmetics on the graphics front as well. So, and there's a lot of revisiting the code recently of what work I've done on Tiki. I could probably heavily optimize the game now. Yeah. So, and if there's any background noise you're hearing today, it is a bit of a rainstorm just coming in. So, apologies for that. So, okay, so Tiki. Okay, let's have a look. So, you probably noticed on this title screen, there's a few more sprites appeared on the bottom of the screen. And yeah, so on the right hand side here, we have like the arrow. So that's an indicator of the current weapon. So this will be a selectable weapon in the game. So you can switch between arrows and you can switch between bombs. If you collect a bomb, then you can just press, I think it's going to be pressing space to switch between them at will, rather than just you keep in whatever you've just collected. I'm going to make it switchable so you can go between. So I think that'll be a nicer thing. And then, yeah, so there's 3 sprites here because there's a little border around the the border around this here is another sprite overlay. So there's 3 there. And then on this side, what we got here, this what looks like a jar. This jar is actually the honeypot jar. So there's now a secondary objective we've got with the game, and not only has Tiki got to collect eggs, Tiki also has to collect honey, and this is for his daughter Tui. Tui obviously has been captured by Wiro, and Tui, which is a Maori name, and it's like bird who likes or eats honey. So that gave me a good incentive to put this into place. This little honey pot. So yeah, so it was a nice idea really, given the name. And in one of the bonus stages, Tiki's trying to avoid buzzies, and they're firing good pollen and bad pollen, and collecting that will obviously top up this little jar. And there may be some more obviously at the because I've now come up with the idea of end of level bosses. So when you get to the very final round in it, then you'll get the boss, I think so. And how I'm going to do them yet, I'm not 100%, but I think what it'll be a case of like just a larger than normal sprite. So but we'll see how it goes. I've got a few ideas in mind, so that's in the near future anyway. So let's have a look now. So if we can press firing us. Now you'll also notice this little bar. Now this is going to be, I've done this for my benefit really, but it's when it's decompressing the data from each of the actual segments, then that will progress up the screen there. So it'll just give it like a loading progress thing. So what's gone on else? Now you can see obviously the 4 critters spawned in all the same. So we've added that. You see Boomerang Boy here strutting his stuff, and there's another Boomerang Boy just down below. So they're walking around now, which is nice. So they'll be throwing boomerangs in preview 5. So as soon as he comes within proximity of Tiki, he'll be throwing that boomerang at him and trying to knock Tiki off the platform. So so that's nearly there. That's on its way, and we've got obviously the horseshoe crabs at the top of the screen here. This one, because obviously this now will change colour now as they get hit, and then obviously he'll pulsate before he comes out of his little respawn there, and he'll start walking again. But I've just got the single colour for now. But I've got all the other animations, the death animations in. So that death animation there was just like the arcade. Yep. So he now respawned and he's gone over to the other platform. None of the other characteristics yet are in this version about them, like spawning in or behaving in different ways in terms of like being aggressive yet. But yeah, it's just another little thing I've done. All the death, so the death animation for the Boomerang Boy, all that's done, and all the other critters. So that's going to plan. Boomerang Boy he's the most complex of all the characters so far. He's got 32 frames in there at the moment of animation, which is a heck of a lot. But I think he just looks so good compared to the original. And you might be thinking, you might have observed obviously the highlighting on his little highlight, which is on his head and his like shorts. You can see it's on the left hand side, and it's still on the left hand side as he turns in the other direction. So I thought I'd make it like that, whereas normally in the arcade they've just flipped the sprite across, but his shading's all on the same side, which I thought, oh here comes Buddy again. Oh, he's always there, isn't he? Yeah. So, but yeah. It's just a little brief update as to what I've been doing, but I thought I'd show you Boomerang Boy, you know, his little walking, just to give you a quick insight before Preview 5 comes on. Also, you may notice there's a little bit more animation going on, and I've just ever so slightly tweaked the background graphics. Now, the reason I've done that is because the big background map, I've converted that now into a 2x2 character map, and in the next release what I'll be doing is I'll be bringing that 2x2 character map, which saves a lot of bytes, into the actual game itself. So I've got a decode routine. I can decode any size of map. It'll be, I can do 4x4 if I wanted, but 2x2 I like. So I think it takes the screen, because it's 2 screens wide for the background. I think it takes it down to about 400 bytes or something like that. So it's not too bad. I mean, yeah, it could be compressed even further, I suspect, but that 400 bytes is like a third of probably what it is now, just in like single characters uncompressed. So it's handy to do this when you're writing a game, is to compress it, because now that means the next level's background maps, they can just sit alongside, and they won't take up that much space as well, I suspect. So it might be like 1200 bytes or so just for all 3 level backgrounds. So that's not too bad. I'm quite pleased with that. So yeah, just jump out of it. Oh yeah, you can't fire now in the water, so that's another. So when these critters start firing back at you, you're gonna have to be very careful if you get stuck in any bits of water or whatever. But obviously you've got to go down there and get them because those little critters obviously could have an egg, which you've got to collect. Yeah, so these totem poles now are also sat on only 2 blocks rather than 3, I think, on one of them. The reason why I've done that is because it just compresses better, because it's less characters to actually less characters like to put into another 2x2 block essentially. Yeah, the apple. Okay. So there's other logic there involved in trying to compress things. What else have we got to do? These little bits of foliage now hanging at the top here. You got grass, which is now a bit swaying in the breeze a bit. So that's the other little thing, and the grass animations on the bottom there. I think what I've done, I've spaced them out a bit more. There was a lot more down here, but now it's like few and far between, just because it looked a bit too much when I started animating it. I always wanted to animate it just to give it a little bit of something extra in the background going on, you know, besides the flags. And I came up with a new way of animating it, so it saved on a load of raster time. Because a traditional method would be just to have a load of characters in your character set, and then you're just copying them across, and then one of them eventually will copy back into a spare character, and then you copy the spare character back into the character. That's an old-fashioned way of doing it. But now I've got all these animated characters. They're just outside the character. They sit outside the character set in another area of memory, and I just basically create a pointer from an index register, and it's just looking at them, and then we increment the pointer, and then it just copies the data from that pointed to address into the actual character set. So it's a different way of doing things, but I mean, obviously you don't get variation then. If you're plotting loads of them, you'll only get the same character in the same animated sequence, which is what you're seeing there. But the flags are a bit different, because the flags, there's actual 3 characters within the character set, so I can stagger them on screen, so it's like a bit of varied flapping between each flag, which looks okay for the flags. But for the grass, you know, it's fine, it'll do. And other games tend to do the same thing with the grass and stuff like that. Whether it might be, I don't know, like a Turrican game or Steel Ranger or all those type of games that are out on the 64. They all do similar things, you know. So, but yeah, so that's the other little bit of things I've just put in there as well, just to make it, you know, it's a bit less dull then, isn't it, on the background. So, so yeah. But yeah, there we go. It's yeah, like I say, just a brief update, just to keep you in the loop of what's been going on. You know, I like to keep people informed. Yeah, so 335 will be around at some point. Yeah, in the near future. Like I say, it might be a little bit delayed because of things going on, but yeah, so October time onwards, it'll be back to Christmas Caper and the Elves, and then after that, it'll be back to Tiki and going full hilt until it gets, because this is the next game release I've got planned. So, and then obviously we'll see those little boomerangs flying around the screen, and some like some collision on Tiki then finally, and then energy reduction and lives lost and things like that. So there we go. Yeah, but yeah, so we got the honeypot there, the secondary objectives, so that should be good. That just, again, it just adds to the actual gameplay. And yeah, there might be a few, maybe I've had a few more ideas for another little bit of animation up here near the clouds as well, so that's something extra, all in the back of my mind. But yeah, I think we're getting the number of sprites on screen. I think we've got quite a few. So yeah, it's getting a bit busy on screen, I think, now. But still plenty of rest of time left, so I'm not losing anything on that at the moment. So that's not too bad. But yeah, so there we go. This is just, like I say, a brief preview update sort of thing of where I am again. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments section as always, and yeah, I look forward to reading them. And thanks again for people supporting and obviously giving me some valuable feedback and comments. And people still buying Christmas caper, and it's in through August and September, so that's fantastic, and I thank those people a lot. So that's great to see, and people enjoying it as well, giving it some decent reviews on various websites around, so that's good. And keep up to date with my comments and posts on all other social media. I've got my itch channel. There's Twitter, or X as it's called now these days, and besides other social media outlets. So let's have a look. Yeah, so there you go. There's my YouTube page. You can see all the latest goings on that, and there's the itch.io page. So yeah, you've got all the goings on that. There's development blogs on there, so keep up to date with them. And then obviously the Twitter or X page as well now. So just with a little bit of an update saying obviously about Quasimodo and Release 4. So there we go. Yeah, it's like I say, it is where it is, and that's where it is, and that's all I've got rid of this one. Like I say, I did say it was brief, but yeah. So look forward to getting back to it in a few weeks' time after I've done all the work on Christmas Caper Release 4. So whatever you're doing, take care, enjoy yourselves. Hopefully playing some 64 games. There's a lot of good stuff coming out at the moment. I've seen loads of decent games, I think, in the making as well. Some very interesting stuff which I never thought would come out. There's loads of ideas are floating around the people, like monochromatic type games and stuff, and it's all different styles of games that you would never have seen in the 80s. And everybody's got, it's a big free for all now. It's really good what's happening on the scene. So yeah, so just go and look at those channels on YouTube with like upcoming games, and it's like there's a lot of good stuff coming out there. And hopefully then the next one, this one, will be another one that'll be liked by the masses. So yeah, so there we go, folks. That was it, just a brief one, and I think that's me done. So thanks again for watching. Take care, and I will see you again in the near future. Thank you. Bye.